Okay guys, in this one we are going to go over my 5 reasons you should, if you don't already, need to be playing Arc Raiders. So the first thing I want to jump into, and let's get it out of the way because honestly, we know it all begins here anyway, is the developers. If you didn't know, Embark Studios is the developer of Arc Raiders. It was designed as a PvE game that quickly turned into a PvPvP game. And in my honest opinion, if that didn't happen, this would not be the same game. The amalgamation of the two is like no other game you've ever played, but we'll get into that. So Embark had a small studio, minimal amount of staff, and they managed to put out the #1 game of 2025 and probably carrying into 2026. It's going to be a top seller, top player, highest gamer retention game you've ever seen, and it's because of the structure of the game. We're going to get into that a bit, so let me start after that. And just by thanking the developers, I just want to thank you, Embark. I don't know what you guys are doing over there, what's in the water, kind of education, kind of, ideas and all that you guys got going over there, but just keep it going because it is awesome. So as we're moving on from the developers, I'm going to start with what they've developed. And the first thing you're going to notice when you turn the game on is the visuals and the sound. I mean, from the starting little spinny reel on the bottom until you actually get into a map and start looking around and listening to the environment. The arc, the players, the environment, everything, the wind, the rain, the weather, it's top of the line. They've used every bit of software you can use to manage to create some of the best visually and audibly stunning gameplay there has ever been created. All you have to do is get in a match and you'll see for yourself. I really can't even explain to you how much I love it, and it's one of the first things when you turn the game on, you're like, you know what, this game's different. Moving on from that, we're going to get into a little bit of lore. I'm not going to get into it too much, but basically the Ark have taken over the surface, humans have been pushed underground, Manticore Corporation is involved. We don't really know the entire story. There are definitely content creators out there walking around these maps trying to figure it out. Go ahead and check it out if you're looking into the lore. There's plenty out there for people to kind of dig into, but as this game unfolds, the story does as well, and I really can't wait to see where this goes. Now, we're going to get into probably the bread and butter, the secret sauce, the major recipe of the chef à la Embark, okay? And that is the mixture of PvP and PvE. Now, this isn't just a mixture like you've seen before. In fact, Tarkov and DMZ, games like that, they had separate PvE, PvP lobbies so that you could play one without the other. They didn't really mix them. Now, you had AI in the game, obviously, turrets or, some AI guarding a bunker or something that were really easy to defeat. And it kind of was just almost just like a small stepping stone to get to where you wanted to be. It was just a little added danger in the game that was strictly mostly around PvP. This game, however, is completely different. It was wrapped around PvE, but the developers, as smart as they are and as good as they are, realized that they needed that little from the PvP to make it all work. But honestly, none of that could have ever worked without the intelligence and the craftiness of the Ark themselves. And honestly, the Ark is the secret sauce to how this thing really plays out, because the loot system, you could say, is the other side of the coin for that. The loot system, the crafting system, and that with the Ark and the dangers of the Ark during any map gameplay mixed in with the PvP element creates a setting in this game that you're not going to find anywhere else. You're just not. You might find the jump scares in some of these other escape games where somebody's a bad guy and everybody's trying to get away from them and do stuff. But this is different. This is way different. You need to play in order to know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's an experience that I can sit here and talk about all day, but you're not going to really get it unless you've played it. And anybody who's played it and is listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not even a question. But the little sprinkle right on top, the little, sprinkle hits your little elbow and bounces in, bang, pow, whatever. The aggression-based matchmaking. It's something new. You ain't going to see it anywhere else. It basically says if you're aggressive against players, you're going to be in PvP lobbies. If you're aggressive against Ark and don't fight players at all, you're going to work your way into a very friendly lobby where mostly everybody's just looting and killing Ark. That's the bottom line. Now there's, you know, a couple little aspects I don't think everyone really realizes, and we're kind of figuring it out. You know, it's between 5 and 10 games if you've been in PvP. You can work your way back to a PvE lobby. And honestly, it doesn't take that many games to get from PvE to PvP. You just got to fight a little bit of raiders in a couple matches and you'll be in the PvP lobbies. There's kind of an in-between system too where people are a little timid, but most people are pretty cool. You might find a fight here and there. Those are like the in-between lobbies, and you can really differentiate by listening to gunfire and things like that, what kind of lobby you're in. And that's the difference between this game and any other game, is you can really manipulate the algorithm of the gameplay you want. It's unheard of. So the next thing I want to cover is the community. And without the community the way it is, without people being the way people are, this game wouldn't work the way it is. These friendly lobbies, you have those people who are out there just to kind of loot, fight the Ark, maybe take down the Queen, things like that, have a little fun with each other, be able to take their fun weapons in without really worrying about PvP. You can do that without actually having a different lobby set. I think that's a big reason why Embark hasn't created just a PvE only lobby, is because you can kind of already create one yourself. But you never lose that rat, right? There's always that player that says, you know what, I'm tired of this PvE. I kind of got what I want. I think I want to go start fighting other players. And they're already in these friendly lobbies, right? So they go and they say, you know what? Sometimes they'll go and say, hey, man, if I shoot you a little bit, just pop you, maybe knock you, and then pick you back up. Cool with that? Yeah, all right, cool. I just want to get into PvP lobbies. Or they just go in and start tearing people up. Either way, you can manipulate through your aggression what kind of lobbies you get into. And it's the creme de la creme, little sprinkle on top that this game has that no other game. It's a flavor you're not going to find anywhere else. In conclusion, that aspect, along with the sounds, the visuals, the lore, everything I've mentioned, when you put all this into the pot, you're going to have the tastiest treat that any studio has ever offered you to this point. And you're talking to a guy, or hearing from a guy that was in there when Halo 2 first came out. And the internet was blown. I'm talking about like D&D type, like there were internet games you could play where it was like, you know, you could play with your friends and stuff, like World of Warcraft type stuff. But there was never like the FPS, you know, war type online game until Halo came out. Once Halo came out, Halo 2, forget about it, dude. Everybody was playing it. SWAT, I mean, we all remember that. And you move from that into games like, of course, you had your games like Tarkov and DMZ, CSGO, right? But they were all limited. Or their PvE was either non-existent, very hard to do, or split right off from the PvP where they were not together. So this is a new beast, and the beast is hungry, gobbling up player count like no other. So get in there, go visit Speranza, become a new raider. And if you are a raider and you've been in Speranza for a while since the beginning, I'm glad you're here. Let's make some fun together, and we'll see you topside.